everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to CINEMAGGOTS. We have a sign.
Yay.
And we've got symbols that best represent us, obviously.
What am I don't know, I've got an ice cream.
You've got ice cream and some... Wait, what did you get? Ice cream
Peace?
and... Ice cream and peace, yes.
Peace,
And I got
yes.
a pumpkin, because I like horror, and a Space Invader, because obvious reasons. But there you go. So yeah, you're best represented by ice cream. I hope you're happy about that.
Yes.
And,
ice cream's good.
And I also hope that you're happy about the fact that we just saw Cars 3.
I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. How could you not be?
Oh wow! I saw Cars 3.
We did. In fact, we did take Chloe, but she had such a good time. She's had to go to bed.
Yeah, she's exhausted.
She's so
very
tired from having so much fun.
She was so excited. She had to go and get some rest. So there we go. So we're going to take over the job of talking about the film. And
Yeah.
I've just realised my shorts are very revealing when I'm sitting on the sofa with this camera angle.
Are they?
Are we good?
You're alright. Nothing's
Yeah.
sticking out.
All right, cool.
Got a cushion.
I'm all right. I can do that. Now it looks like I'm wearing nothing. Wait a sec. There we go. Okay, well I'm clearly wearing shorts. I can't do any more than that. It's summer, all right? So let's talk about Cars 3. I'm gonna let you
Right.
start. What did you
Okay.
think?
I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
By
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
We both went into this not expecting very much.
No.
If we're honest, aren't we?
The only reason I wanted to see this is because the trailer was so overly dark and serious of Lightning McQueen crashing.
Yeah.
It was so out of Cars character. I
No,
thought,
it
oh
was-
my god, it's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, but with cars. So
and to be fair, it delivered on the darker side of.
that's one of the things I like about it.
Didn't it?
Because I actually like this one more than the last two. It's my favourite one. Does not mean I think it's good, but it's my favourite one.
If you had a gun to your head and you had to
Yeah,
pick.
if I had to pick. Spoilers, obviously, sorry. But it's basically the story of Lightning McQueen meeting his end, as it were. Not death, but meeting the end of
The end of his career.
his career, his generation and everything. Which is
Yeah.
already a very melancholy way to take the story. But it's also kind of meta, isn't it? It's very much like, we're at Cars 3 now.
Yeah.
Maybe we should move on.
Yeah, no, it's like with everyone a realisation of getting older,
Yeah.
and you got to maybe slow down a bit.
Especially
if you want to.
especially after how much of a mess Cars 2 was. So it makes sense to take that direction. It didn't try to sell itself out. It was very downplayed. But it didn't take itself too seriously. When it wanted to be funny, I thought actually the jokes here were just...
You did a couple of chuckles.
I laughed a couple of times.
Yeah.
They were right where they needed to be.
Yeah,
They
I
didn't
agree.
they didn't take the impact of some of the more serious scenes out, and they were genuinely just very charming and funny. And they don't focus on the side characters like Mater. I don't get why people love him so much. He annoys me.
Does he annoy you?
He annoys me, yeah.
Oh,
I think he has a place. I get why people like him.
yeah.
But in Cars 1 and especially Cars 2, he is always in your face, and it was a good shout to have this a story about Lightning McQueen and his life instead of every other.
Mater in his teeth.
I was gonna say every Mater in his teeth. Yeah, every other side character. They leave the side characters out for the most part.
No,
So
it's true,
so
it's
nothing's
true.
nothing's too in your face. Nothing goes overboard. But I thought it looked gorgeous.
I thought that too.
The
I thought
beach
it was
scene.
really good.
Yeah.
The water was so well done. I don't know if
Yeah.
it was real or
I'm
not
pretty
real, I
sure
have
it
no
wasn't. I'm
idea,
pretty
but
sure it was.
It was a very good looking film.
It was a very beautiful film, much better
Yeah.
looking than the other two. Radiator Springs actually looked like a place I'd like to visit now, instead of how it looked
Somewhere
before.
you'd run from.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Obviously, with this film, there's a lot of action shots
Mm-hmm.
because of the nature of the film.
Yep.
And I thought that the way they did that was actually really good.
Yeah, it's
Really
a
good.
very well cut, very well edited movie.
Yeah.
It's very slick. And everything. I also liked how there's basically there's the overarching theme of getting older and
Yeah.
knowing when your time is up. But to rub that in, I thought that what's his face, Jackson Storm, is that what he was
Yes.
called?
Yeah.
He wasn't in it for too much, but he was a good dickhead.
They didn't overdo it.
No, because
At all.
he's not like Chick in Cars 1 where he's always just clearly a dick and he's like, oh fucking go away. But with this guy it was like whenever he appeared and whenever he was gonna do something, it was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck's your problem? But yeah, so that was pretty good.
What
we-
did you think of Cruz as the new sort of sidekick,
Well, this is
so to speak?
this is something else I liked. When she comes into the film as McQueen's trainer to try and get him back into the racing scene after he keeps losing and losing and
Yeah.
losing, I thought it was going to be, because the way she's introduced and the way that Lightning talks to her, I thought it was going to be a like, a romantic interest thing.
But he's with Sally.
But he's with Sally, so I thought it was going to be, oh, he's going to love her, and Sally's going to get upset, and there's going to be blah, 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 and she is just the trainer of her generation, and that's as far as it goes.
Yep.
And then she comes in at the very, very end with something, again, I didn't see coming, because you think that the whole point of the film is that he's going to work his way up back to the top, and he's going to win and everything, but instead, he takes the place of everyone who's done it before him, who's had their time, and starts coaching her, which is awesome. The problem is as well, it's because it's Cars 3, I thought, oh, there's going to be more. If there's 3, there's going to be 4 and 5 and 6. They've already gone this far, so I thought, oh, so Lightning is going to do this, but then they actually stuck to their fucking guns and made it that Lightning ends up being the old coachy figure at the end of it, which I thought was a very natural, a very different approach to the first one, especially because you can't retell. Especially at the beginning of Cars 3 as well, it basically is a remake of the first movie at the beginning. It starts, so I thought it was going to hit way too many familiar notes, but then that's not the point as it goes on. But so that was pretty good. I liked that. I like the moral messages it has in there about the old ways, the old ways, the old ways versus the new ways, and the new ways and the new. And actually, there's a couple of things in there like about motivation. And about being knocked down and using it to your advantage. I liked how as well when Jackson starts trying to antagonise Cruz at the very end of the film when she's doing her first proper race, when she steps in to take over Lightning's place. I thought it was going to take a very oh, she's sad now, and he's like, oh no, don't listen to her, don't listen to her.
Don't listen to her.
Wow.
No, don't listen to him. He's not a her, he's a him. He's a boy car.
Boy car.
Wow.
But how can you tell the difference other than the voice? Because
That's a very good question.
Have...
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming.
Okay, well, there's a few other things we need to discuss about car anatomy in a second.
Shall I hold that thought?
We'll hold the thought,
Okay.
yeah. But I thought it was just going to be like, oh, don't let him get to you, because that's what they did with Chick in Cars 1, and that's what made him a terrible antagonist. So I thought they were going to go down the road, and instead, he said, well, look, he tried to piss you off because you got under his skin.
Which is
true. And I haven't seen a Pixar Disney movie that has actually said that before.
No.
It's always seen as, oh, they're just dicks because they're dicks, and you need to rise above it, or you need to beat them because that's what the good guys do. But it doesn't work. It doesn't open itself like that in this, and I appreciated
People are generally knobs for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, back to the car anatomy.
Car anatomy.
A few things we were thinking about as we were watching the film. Doc Hudson's dead. So what happened to his body?
Where does he go?
Does he get recycled and be made into more parts?
Does he get squashed into a cube, like they do, or put in the big claw? Or does he have organ donation?
Yeah, do they have organ donations? Yeah.
Yeah, because
do they recycle his metal into cans so that they can drink Coke from the body of their friends?
Well.
When Sally said that Lightning looked very attractive, I also thought, wow. I counted 7 Owen Wilson wows in this movie.
I was hoping for more.
I don't think it's the quantity. I think it was the quality. Because
of the wow?
It was the quality of the wow. Because the thing is, at points in the film, every sentence he begins with is wow.
There is a. Yeah,
it's not that he says it sporadically. There's so many sentences where he begins saying
with
wow.
With the wow.
So that's what makes it good. But the problem is, like I said, this is not. I still don't think it's a great movie at all. It did not know what the main point of the story was, because it begins.
What was the point?
I haven't got it. I don't know. I can't tell you because the film does not give you a clear indication.
And it was clearly.
It begins
trying to show the end of his, wrapping up his time as a racing car.
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, he wants to get back into racing because that's the point of the film. He wants to be better. He wants to be a better racer, but he will refuse to embrace the new methods. Right?
Yeah.
That's a big plot point. He refuses to embrace the new methods. He gets too cocky. He tries to go in the simulation. He fucks up the simulation. Everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, you can't do this, Lightning, seriously. So then he goes, okay, so let's do it the old way, right? So then his trainer Cruz comes in, being the new method.
Yeah.
And she doesn't understand the new thing. She can't drive on the sand, and that's actually quite a funny bit. I like it when she says the beach ate her. That's quite funny. But yeah, she digs herself in the sand. That's quite funny. But yeah, so she can't go on the sand. She's not a very good dirt track racer. And so then the film switches all of a sudden into, maybe the new methods aren't as good as the old methods, right?
Yeah.
So then I thought, okay, so now the trainee is training the trainer. And their relationship is going to improve because of that. And then they're going to overcome everything in the end. But then all of a sudden, you get thrown in with like, yes, but the reason that all these new cars are winning is because they are being trained the new way.
Yeah.
So how on earth does Lightning ever expect to actually beat any of them?
Well, he doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't.
So why doesn't he? Why is he that ignorant? What's the point that they're trying to make? And then so they jump from that, and then for whatever reason, it's then about Cruz embracing the old methods, and then they go over and see more of the old cars that trained Doc, and then it becomes again more of the because his suit, his high-tech suit, starts peeling away.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so now it's saying the old methods are better than the new methods, but they're not in the film
because it doesn't
work.
It doesn't work.
So what the hell are they trying? And then when Lightning comes to do his thing, he doesn't do well. Like the visual metaphor of Lightning's suit ripping off and his original decals coming out from the first movie and everything. That's kind of saying, look, we're ripping off the new skin. You don't need the new methods. Problem is though,
you do.
If it's metaphorical to Lightning McQueen, he goes in the race and he fucking loses, and so he needs to give it to Cruz. So it doesn't.
I know.
There's no point. And then she comes in at the last minute, she was already a good racer.
You know his first big accident
that
he has near the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, so from what it looked like, he looked pretty smashed up.
He was pretty smashed up.
So when he was rebuilt, why didn't they
update him?
Update him to be a bit more like the newer cars.
This kind of story would work in a man running movie or something, like a racing, because with a person you actually do age. One of the things that was a little bit distracting for me with all of those messages was the fact that half the film is spent looking at old things and specifically reminiscing. And I understand doing it at the beginning because Lightning needs the motivation and he needs to do this and he needs to do that and he needs to remember the good old days. But then he goes to a new company and there's shit for him to look at about him, and then he finds the older people and there's shit to look at about him. Yeah. A load of looking at old shit for like half the movie, and it doesn't add anything to anything. And the main thing that I didn't like, which is the same reason I didn't like Cars 1. Yeah. Lightning's a dick, and they don't make him likeable. It was his idea to practice outside. Yeah. And it's his fault that he didn't embrace any of the new methods, which would have probably worked. Yes. And yet he still feels like he's in a position of a moral high ground to treat Cruz like complete shit, so much to the fact that she ends up leaving.
I don't know why she came back, actually.
She's got no reason to come back.
No, she doesn't. He's been a pain in the ass to train, so there's no reason for her to really like him that much.
Yeah, but no, he says, like, I know I fired you as my trainer, but since you know your schedule's free, do you want to come with us?
And she's like, yeah, right. And he's a spoiled shit.
Yes, he is.
He is a spoiled shit.
And I get that's what he is as a character, but why make him the fucking main hero? And then why make him the good guy that pulls through and apologises and everyone loves him again? It's like, oh, fuck off. Okay, so in the film as well, there's a sponsor. Sterling? Is he called?
Oh, Mr. Sterling.
Mr. Sterling, and he's the sponsor, right? Sterling comes in and he's like the new trainer head, sponsor, figurehead. And for the whole film, he's realistic, he's pleasant.
It's reasonable.
And he's the least harsh when everyone's calling Lightning old and tired and fading out. He's the only one that isn't like that. Yeah. And then when Lightning shows nothing but just fucking spoilt, childish bullshit and then breaks all of the simulator equipment that was all paid for him to get better and everything. Yeah. And then he's like, well, look, Lightning, you're done now. So can we sell merchandise now so you can retire and everything? And of course he doesn't like that. But at the very end of the movie, he comes in at Lightning's last race, and then she's there, and all he does for the last 5 minutes of the film is go, you should be working. Fuck off. Go back to work. You need to train these people. And then he's like keeps telling her, and then she goes, and then Lightning wants her to race, and she goes into race, and he comes in and he's like, oh, you can't make her race. No, Lightning's supposed to race. Lightning's supposed to, and it's like all he cares about at that point is the merchandise, which was not what he was like before that.
I think that's meant to be their idea of a twist of a character.
But it's not.
It doesn't work.
It's
it doesn't
not.
Work at all.
It's so not.
It
it's
just
not,
doesn't make any sense.
It was all of a sudden he turns into a dick, and then she wins the race, and then he does the
Then he's
switch,
nice.
and then he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I always knew there was something in you."
Yeah.
But that's a character arc of a completely different type of character. He was actually nice
Yeah.
up until the last 5 minutes.
I think it rounds off. Should we call it the
The
trilogy?
saga.
Yes, the saga quite well.
It's got a nice arc.
There's definitely a beginning, a really shitty middle,
Yeah,
and an alright end.
An alright ending.
But-
Although Lightning McQueen doesn't seem to have learned anything as a character from 1 or 2 or whatever. We've ranted about what we didn't like.
Yeah.
We talked about what we
We've
did.
mentioned what we did like briefly.
Yeah. But I'm gonna. What would you give this
The
out of 10?
maggot rating
Yeah.
out of a rotten
Out of a rotting horse carcass.
Hawkus grus.
Yes, out of a rotting
A
horse
rotting horse carcass.
Yes. How many?
I think I'm just gonna go. Oh, I'm torn between 4 or 5.
See, I was gonna go 5.
I think I might go 5.
Yeah.
I was torn between the two, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and
Yeah.
go 5.
I'd say I enjoyed it as much as I didn't enjoy it personally.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's my favourite Cars movie. I just don't think it was that good. So yeah, there you go. If it's your birthday today watching this video, happy freaking birthday to you. Please
Wow.
remember to wow. He's a car.
I can't do it.
Wow.
Wow. So you
Yeah,
got,
that's it,
you
that's
got
it.
the mouth right as well.
It's the
I just thought
What?
of another one.
Oh.
How do cars have babies?
How do cars have babies? I don't know. I don't want to know. Let's end on that, shall we?
Okay.
My knees clicked out.
Oh.